These Constitution minutes are officially recognized by the Commission on the Bicentennial of the United States Constitution.
We, the people, adopted the Constitution 200 years ago. It has passed every test and touched each one of us right now and will continue to do so throughout our lives. Why is that so? It is because a group of wise and far-sighted individuals created the government not just for themselves, but for our children's children, as one of them said. Some were quite old, like the great Benjamin Franklin in his early 80s. Some were young. Jonathan Dayton of New Jersey was barely 27. Some were deep scholars like James Madison. Others like Gouverneur Morris we might call playboys. They spoke with different dialects and came in different shapes and sizes, very much like the audience watching these Constitution minutes. Differing on some points, the framers of the Constitution set up an original system of Republican government with 3 separate branches, each to serve as a check on the other, with powers reserved to the states and the people. Later, to protect our liberties, they would add the Bill of Rights. They used broad language, which would suit not only a horse and buggy era, but an age of jet travel and electronic communication. But what they wrote will endure, not just as a document, but as a living constitution that still works.
In these days, when it seems to take 100 lawyers to write a contract for the sale of a chicken coop, it is astounding to realize that the Constitution, including the eloquent preamble, was cast into its final draft largely by one man. No, not by James Madison, remembered as the father of the Constitution, but by Gouverneur Morris, a New York dandy and a notorious womanizer. Rumor had it that a leg lost in a carriage accident was really the result of a hasty leap from a window following a romantic encounter. Morris hardly thought that the greatest adventure of his life would come behind a quill at the Constitutional Convention. I'm Lynn Redgrave for Constitution Minutes.
Dissident Elbridge Gerry's refusal to sign the Constitution might have obscured his place in history, but for a monstrous device to which he gave his name. Gerry deviously manipulated the shape of Massachusetts voting districts to ensure the election of members of his party. When he shaped one district that looked like a salamander, a newspaper cartoon portrayed it, calling it a gerrymander. With its 1962 one-man, one-vote ruling, the Supreme Court, established by the Constitution Gerry had refused to sign, tamed the monstrous gerrymander. I'm Marlene Francis for Constitution Minutes.
In the 1760s, citing colonial charter claims, Connecticut demanded borders extending from Narragansett Bay to the Pacific Ocean. These expansionist Connecticut Yankees moved into the Wyoming Valley of what's now Pennsylvania, staked out farms, and rebuffed repeated attacks by the Pennsylvanians. It took years of intermittent fighting before the controversy was resolved. No bloody land disputes would happen again. Under the new federal Constitution, the Supreme Court was empowered to settle all disputes between states. While Pennsylvania's sovereignty was recognized, the Connecticut Yankees were permitted to stay. I'm Dina Merrill for Constitution Minutes.